Welcome to MamaFuel, the podcast that fuels every mama's heart, soul, mind, and body, and hopefully sparks a few dreams along the way. I'm Anne Ferguson, Chief Nurturer and Mama Mentor at the Centered Mama Project, and your host for this podcast. I'll be sharing real, raw, and often funny conversations with beautiful mamas from around the world to remind you that you're not alone and that you're doing amazingly on this wild journey of being a gorgeous woman shepherding small humans as they make their way on our beautiful planet. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of MamaFuel, the podcast for every mama everywhere around the world that is going to fuel your heart, your soul, your mind, and your body. I am so excited to have my dear friend, Ronja Sakata, with me today. She is a mama of an international family, a life and business coach, a food engineer, and most importantly, she is the queen of joy. Her mission is to spread joy in the world, and I am so happy to introduce her to you. I can tell you that from the very first moment that we met, I felt the energy that Ronja shares with everybody. And I was on a high for hours after our first hug. So I can't wait for you to get to know her. Let's get started. Ronja, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor.
It's so fun. Okay, so let's dive right in. Tell me a little bit about your family.
My husband Ken and I met beneath the cherry blossom trees in Japan at the barbecue of the company. I was doing an internship for my food technology studies, and that was 17 years ago. And we fell in love, not directly because I had a boyfriend, he had a girlfriend, but soon after we decided that this might be a good idea to be together. And we got married 2 years later, and now he's living here in Switzerland with our little daughter. She turned 7, and that's 15 years ago.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So you have Mika, who's turned 7, and your husband Ken, and you live in Switzerland, and that's where you're from, right?
Yes, we live in Zurich, downtown Zurich.
Beautiful Zurich. Oh, I love Zurich. So tell me what kind of support you have around you as personally and your family.
So my parents live away with the public transportation. It's an hour, and by car it depends on traffic, but if you're lucky, it's 30 minutes. So they provided really a lot of support when Mika was born and very little. And now my mother takes care of my sister's little boy the same way she did for me, like once a day, a week. So since Mika went to kindergarten, we stopped that because he was born and she couldn't, she was like taken care of in kindergarten anyway. More time than before with just daycare. So yeah, my mother, my father, they are around for weekends, but I like that they are very independent. You know, they're not like available all the time. We are not here then, and we go back to Germany and to the mountains. So I really have to ask. I can ask, and she says no if she doesn't want. So she takes care of her energy. That's a good example. And what we really have is a super great support network as neighbors. Mm-hmm. So we change days with taking care of, I take care, or my husband takes care of 3 kids of the neighbors, and Mika is there once a week. So that's just really planned and fixed and really reliable. Also when a kid is half sick, you know, it's not, you just can't come if there is any inconvenience or not so healthy. It's just so normal. Or if a kid is sick from the other family, it's like, yeah, well, if she would have siblings, that would be the case too. So we don't stress out about that. Yeah. So my parents are here. My husband he has a restaurant since 2016. So his support was bigger before when he had a normal job. But now I really can say I feel supported. Last week, Mika was sick. I was taking care of her the whole week, and that sucked. Like, I'm not a good 100% mom. I'm a good half part-time mom, really, but I don't enjoy my kids 100% of the time. That's just a fact.
And I think it's really important to be able to say that. And you say that so easily. And I feel that it's something that just comes out of you and that you don't have there's no story around that for you. You just, being around my kid 100% of the time is too much. And I want to do other stuff.
Yeah, really. That's just the fact. And I know that I want more kids. And anytime I tell this that other people, it's like, but you're so busy. I said, I can have kids without like making you have to make compromises, but not too many. It's really the fact. 100 or 150 years ago, the fuss about the kids was like this big, and you had maids and people taking care of the kids. Even breastfeeding was outsourced. So I'm not feeling bad at all if I say I don't take care of my kid 100%. If I'm here, I'm 100% here. But I'm happily somewhere else, and I don't miss my kid. I don't miss anybody. I'm just there then.
In the moment.
Yeah.
That leads really beautifully into my next question, which is how do you practice self-care? Because I know you're so good at it.
Yeah, I really got good at it out of super crisis modes, like I don't have time for myself, because that's such a big point. And I had to understand that it's just a fact that I need me time without anybody like crying or yelling or calling me. So in an ideal day, I get up really early. 4:44 is my magic number. I'm in love with this number, and I'm in love like with the craziness of before 5 a.m. And it's so surreal to get up this early. I mean, when I was at university, this would be just
impossible.
Getting up at 7:30 was impossible. So this decision to get up early and put on some candles and I have 4 elements I would love to do daily. I don't manage to do them daily, but it's kind of the choice of movement. At the moment, I'm in love with yoga with Adrian. It's just so easy. It's like today I'm in for more hard version or a more feely version, and you just choose for free what you want to do. And then I like writing. 750words.com is my big love, to just write and journal and write it out. Even though I know pen to paper is even more powerful, but the typing is really quick for the brain dump in the morning. And I do some affirmations sometimes, and with really intentional pen to paper. So journaling, movement, and meditation. And I'm so used to these meditations now that I really tune in directly, and I kind of can talk with my guides, like I imagine my totem animals and my gardening angel and my guide, and it's just like a party gang around me. And I ask questions and get answers from where they come. I don't care. And it's just a dialogue, and I tune in to the day and what's important today. And what I like, and that feels that I'm not making it up. It's they call me out, or they say nice things, even though I'm in a critical mode. So it doesn't feel like it's my mind. It's really from outside, but in a loving way. So I love this conversation. And if I don't do anything of the other things, I really want to tune into this conversation daily. So that fuels me and keeps me like in this magical balance of the game of life, or the dance of life, to be in a playful and interactive mode. And I love EFT. Brad Yates is my kind of boyfriend online too. And I love to choose which episode I want to do. And I do that intuitively, or like I have to wake up Mika, but this one. And then I do EFT. So movement, meditation, journaling, and EFT. If I do all the 4, I'm just in invincible mode the whole day. Like, are you angry? You know, in public transportation, I'm so chilled. Nobody can bring me out of balance at all. And also my kid and everybody. It's just like, I did so much for me today in the morning. I'm in balance for the whole day. And that's why this practice is really, I don't want to miss it. If I miss it, it's not a bad thing, and I'm not beating me up for that, but I really want to do it because it feels so good.
For anyone who isn't familiar with intentions, can you tell us a little bit about what you mean when you say you write intentions?
Yeah, it's kind of, what do you want to have your day look like? What do you want to, like, I want to have an amazing day, and I'll be in my power, and I do my best, and just writing out things which feel good for you, or you have a meeting and you can imagine how amazing this meeting will take place, and imagine how maybe the end of the meeting, like the handshake, done deal, and feel the feeling of your accomplishment, like I did a good job, and just imagine, like, in forehand how good this day will be. And if it's not working out that way, this positive focus is anyway impacting your day in a good way.
Has it always been, so I'm going to say, easy? I don't imagine that waking up at 4:44 is all that easy necessarily, but has it always been this easy for you to take this really sacred time in the morning? Or is it something that you had to work at before you actually A, managed to do it at all, and B, managed to be consistent about it?
Yeah, that's really only possible when Mika is sleeping the whole night, because my husband comes home late night or like early morning, so he's anyway a good sleeper. He didn't hear her screaming when she got her teeth, or all this night work was always my thing, because he didn't hear her anyway. So that's lucky him. And I'm really curious. As I say, I want more kids. How can I do that? All what I know now and my experience now 8 years later, how can I implement this with more kids when they're really little and you don't get enough sleep? Because sleep is so sacred. And I think if this works out with more babies, I need some support at night, like really somebody taking care of some shifts in the night, or just bringing me the baby to dock to the tank station. Yeah, I don't know yet, but at the moment it's really easy. When I go to bed early, it's no question to get up early too.
Yeah,
I skip the early morning and do some journaling during the day if possible. And sometimes it's not possible, but as I feel the difference and I have this experience now that this habit is just so good for me, I miss it, It's not something like you should do that, you have to do that. It's just something now which is, a need and not a must.
It fuels, it's true fuel, right? It's fuel of your soul and your heart and your mind and your body. You were talking about movement as well. And I think it's important for anyone who's listening to know that it's not necessary that it be yoga. It can be dance. It can be koya, which is an amazing ritualistic way of moving. It can be tai chi. It can be anything that actually
just something which is doing good for you and make is fun, just your favorite song on the volume possible and just dancing around. Or even in my meditation, I ground myself like roots growing into the ground, and then I move too, like freely. I know nobody's watching me, I don't care. And then you can, like if you have a stiff neck or something, you just move around intuitively, and that already loosens up every tightness. And while you're talking with some guides, if you want to try that, you just find the perfect thing for you. And I imagine like a menu, the movement menu. Sometimes I just want to do a hard workout, like I have a DVD, 10 minutes, flat tummy, program. And these 10 minutes are just, I'm sweating afterwards. And I love the fact that I can just take a shower afterwards. I don't have to go to the changing room, or I hate going somewhere for doing sports. That's really not for me. So doing that in my living room in the morning with maybe greasy hair, and then I go to the shower, that's just perfect.
Yeah. How has your support network been around you taking care of yourself? Because you said that your self-care, self-love routine in the morning was born out of the, I know, I need help, I need time, I can't do this. So how has your husband been around that? How have other people, your neighbors, your friends, your parents, whoever it might be that you might require support from in order to make that time, how have those people supported you in your self-love?
Yeah, I had to find this out too, not on the hard way, but we were coming home from Japan in 2015, and I nearly had a burnout from this vacation because I was around my husband and my kid 100%. It was like, that's too much. I don't like you being around the whole time. It's just a fact. And then some friends of me, they told me, you need a retreat. You have to go away for a week or something. I said, I can't do that. That's not possible. And then, yeah, well, it is possible. Don't make that up. And then I really went to a retreat to Portugal for 4 nights, and we figured out a plan how my husband and my mother and neighbors can, support all the transitions about the night and then the morning. And yeah, it's possible. And then when I'm away, I know, my husband is really good at his self-care, and he just probably, he's the most zen person I know, and he's just doing whatever he wants. He's really responsible. He's not like all of a sudden not taking care of Mika when he told me he's on this shift. But when he can decide freely, he's just doing whatever he wants, like going fishing 5 a.m. on his boat on Lake Zurich. And Mika and I are maybe allowed to join at 5:00 in the evening when it's not so hot anymore. And that's just his freedom then, the whole day alone on his boat. And I just need to take my time too from him, because otherwise I don't get it. He's not like, oh, you need time, honey. Like, I have to decide. Or like last weekend, I had 2 kids. The friend of Mika, she was here over the weekend, and I wasn't feeling so well and like not into 2 girls the whole weekend. But I imagined her parents, who are friends of mine, like he's a pilot, so they don't have so much time together, like 2 weekends a year together somewhere. Mm-hmm. So I really was focusing on their joy, and they thanked me a million times afterwards. And while I was annoyed by these girls, I was like, they have a wonderful time in the mountains. It's all okay. That was really interesting to recognize. My motivation for doing this was their joy. And then I texted my husband at night, Saturday night, actually, I'm going to a brunch with my friend. I do breakfast for the girls. And after he was sleeping, because he comes home at 2 a.m. So afterwards, they're alone and you're sleeping. If something happens, you have to take care of them, because I'm gone at 10 and I come back when you have to leave at 3. And I didn't ask. I just announced that to him. And that's no problem for him at all, He texted me like around 12, like, yeah, I have to leave at 3 and just enjoy your time. That's not, I like that. It's not like, oh, you're gone without telling me or something. I told him, not asked him, I told him. And that's what he does too. So this egoistic kind of thinking, if that works in a good balance in your relationship, I think that's a good way to just take what you need. And yeah.
I think that's so key, because that was something that really struck me when we met, this capacity to say, I need this, and then to make the space and time for that, find a way to make it happen, not with any guilt attached, not with any story, not with any shame around that, you sometimes need space and time away from your daughter and your husband. And we all do, let's face it. It's not healthy for anybody to be all the time with anybody else. It just isn't. And one person can't be anyone's everything, right? And so having that capacity to say, you know what, actually, on Thursday night, I'm going to an improv class. Figure it out. Well, what's for dinner? Figure it out. Figure it out. And this is a conversation that we have sometimes. And my husband travels a lot. And I'll often say to him, like last night, he came home and he flew again this morning. So he literally was home for 14 hours. Home, empty his suitcase, put his stuff in the wash, repack his suitcase, give us a kiss, sleep, and then leave. And I had something on last evening, and it's the same thing on that night of the week. It's a Wednesday night, so we're recording this on a Thursday. It's a Wednesday night, and I said to him, remember, I have this call with my parenting coach, who I talk to every week. Remember, this is happening. And he said, well, I hope you have a plan for dinner, because I can't unpack, repack. So he needed to protect his time and space, because he had very little, like 3 hours before he needed to go to bed and fly away again the next morning. And I said, yeah, you know what? There's a plan for dinner, but you're on. Like, I'm making it. And the minute you walk in the door, I'm out of here, which just happened to coincide. Or my kids were going to eat on their own, which is fine. I'm upstairs, they're downstairs. It's no biggie. But it's space and time that everyone has gotten used to me taking. And it's something that I protect fiercely. And the girls know that when I come in here to have that call with my parenting coach, it helps me be a better mommy. And you taking the time in the morning that you take before Mika would ever dream of waking up helps you feel more joyful, helps you feel better, and also makes you a more enjoyable human for everybody else, right?
Yeah. And when I began this practice, she woke up regularly and joined me. And if she wanted to interrupt me, I was kind of not harsh, but really clear. If you want to be here, you can be on this sofa, but really quiet. That's my time now. I want Mama. No, you can join me for yoga. I have her mat too. So that's okay. But don't, that's my me time bubble. You can be here. I don't send you away, because I think it's a good thing that she sees me doing all this. And it's also nice to have her there. But no, she can't overtake the space. That's now my space. So this egoistic, I love being just aware of myself and what I need. And that makes me a better person, a better everything. And I learned that really from my husband. When he came to Switzerland, he joined me for some events and parties first. And after a short time, he told me, I'm not coming. I said, what? You're my husband. Why wouldn't you come to this, I don't know, wedding party? Or I'm not into, so I'm not coming. Okay. And then everybody was concerned, where is Ken? And I said, he's not coming. That's just what he told me. And now everybody's so used. They're now friends. If he comes, he wants to be there. And then he has a good time without me taking some kind of care of him. I hate couples walking around always together, and you can't have a normal conversation with one of them because they're together there. That's another topic. But if Ken is there, we are independent individuals there, and he decided to come. And friends are he's coming to my party. I just want to say, so it's a privilege to have him at your party if he comes. But yeah, that's just something I learned from him. If you go somewhere, you better decide to go there on your own and with your whole heart. And if you don't want to go, you just don't go. yeah, but they would think about, no, that's just not important. You have to, and sometimes it just works out without you telling them because it's canceled or,
yeah,
that's so interesting. But you have to decide for you first, like, am I really going to this event today? Yes or no? And if it's a yes, then it's a hell yes. And if it's a no, it's just a no. And
that is so important. It's something that I teach in the Centered Mama Self-Love-a-thon is one of the pillars of self-love and of self-care is to be true and do the things that you really want to do and to have the courage to not do the things that you don't want to do and to use the complete and wonderful and powerful sentence that is the word no, without explaining, without justifying, without feeling guilty, without making up stories about what the other people are going to think and having to take care of them. Like you were saying, just that's not going to work for me. No, I'm not coming. And that's it. And as you say, with your husband, initially people were a bit, it's breaking the social norm of being invited and going, right? But probably 9/10 of the people don't want to be at that wedding anyway, because they probably would rather be staying home and doing something else. And part of the challenge of having someone in your space who is so solid in his knowing and so in such integrity with hell yes, I want to do this, or no, I'm not doing that. It confronts us to our own misalignment, I think, in saying yes when we mean no. And this is true with our children. This is true with other moms, where we feel those social pressures to go to that play group or to accept that sleepover or to go to that play date or to say yes to a birthday party when actually you can't stand the kid and you don't want to go and you don't want your kid hanging out with them. Or conversely, you want to invite someone that maybe the other moms are a bit, I don't know. It comes back to being in such integrity, in such deep knowing of yourself that it's not a debate, is it?
Yeah, and when you know that, then, for example, you invite somebody and this somebody doesn't want to come. If you're not attached to that, that's okay. All these expectations. I think expectations are the worst for everything. From other people, you can have expectations from you and play with them and be nice with you within them, but not from other people. You're not allowed to have expectations. And if you manage to get there where you just ask for what you want or tell how it's going to happen, then the other side is free to say no or yes, or is accepting more. I think we are together for 17 years, so we figured out a lot in the beginning, and we didn't have kids for, I'm not good in 10
years. 10 years.
Thank you. 17 minus 7. Thank you. Like 10 years we had time to figure out our relationship without kids, and that's so much more easy to do. So when do I just tell, I'm going to this dinner, do you want to join? And I don't have an expectation. Or when do I say, tomorrow morning I'm gone and you're on? Mm-hmm. That's not an expectation. That's just an order.
It's just a fact. It's a fact. It's my choice.
No choice. So when can you do this or that? And how does the other side feel? That's so important. And I really love the fact that my mother is in this awareness too. She doesn't say yes if she means no. So if I ask her and she says yes, I can 100% rely on this yes. And I don't have to feel bad, apologize, say anything. Thank you so much. I don't want to bother you. Or all these dilly-dilly things which are just not important and not necessary. If somebody says yes, it's a yes, and then you can rely on that. And the no is not something which means you are not valuable or it's just a no. This person has something that other going on or is just not into it. And if you're not disappointed, then it frees everything up. Everything is more easy then.
It lets joy flow, right?
Yes. Focus on yourself more. That's just my message all the time. How do I feel? What do I need next? Do I need a break? Do I need a tea? Not like I need vacation in the Maldives now. Like just little things. I need a walk. 5 minutes away from here is the like a beautiful view over Zurich. And yeah, just what do I need next for myself? And if you ask this question 100 times a day, you just tune in with yourself more. And that's so precious if you do that.
You touched on something that I would love to delve into a little bit more deeply, excuse me, which is expectations. We as moms have so many expectations culturally in our culture of origin, from our family, from our friends, from books, from things we see online, from parenting books, from Instagram feeds of other moms, from ourselves, right? There's this, I've been talking a lot recently about the fantasy of motherhood versus the reality of our experience as mothers and as just grown-ups. Like, at some stage, I'm going to feel like a grown-up. I'm almost 44. I'm not there yet, but I had this fantasy about what being a grown-up would be like, and I'm not there yet. I'm not sure I'm ever going to get there, and I think that's a good thing.
It's a trap. Don't get there anyway, you know?
Yeah, I'm not going to get there. But for around mothering and around the different roles that the archetypes around mothering, I would love to dive into that a little bit with you, because I feel like you have this freedom from the restraints of expectations around you and how you mother Mika and how you show up. Can you talk a little bit about that? Was that something that you needed to do consciously, or is it something that just happened naturally?
Yeah, it's kind of, you forget everything about the hard times in the beginning, because I had a really hard time. I thought it would be so easy because I was babysitting little babies, really little babies, since I'm 6 years old. You know, I thought that's just a done deal. And it wasn't. It was really hard at the beginning because I like my freedom so much. I like to do what I want. And all of a sudden having a little creature, and I'm supposed to take care of her the whole time, and I really wanted to breastfeed, and it worked out perfectly, but this dependence on me, it was just crushing me. And I don't remember the expectations in detail. I kind of was disappointed, I think, that it wasn't so easy as I imagined it, but it was all the mindset, not the daily, like, you know, the like changing diapers and managing to feed my kid. That was not the hard part. The hard part was just like, I'm not free to go anymore. And then when the pumping thing, like the bottle feeding with my milk, when that worked out, I was the happiest person ever to just leave again. And I was doing this pumping wherever, like in the toilet of a train. I didn't care. I was free to go to a concert, and I didn't bother or like feeling bad or like, oh, is it okay to do that? So, but the expectations now of me as a mother, I'm really talking a lot to her, and I had a hard time to adjust when my husband opened his restaurant, because before he was really here for Mika, like I would say half of the time. We really shared the time we had left to take care of her. Like she's two days in daycare after school, and 1 day at the neighbors. 1 day the kids of the neighbors are at our place, so 1 day left, and that's now kind of the day of Ken. But then I had to accept that he's not able to do the mornings because he's just too tired. And it's a fact. And this restaurant is so gorgeous and so much fun. And I love restaurants and the whole business around it. So I said, okay, if I do mornings and evenings, you are doing the washing, because I hate housework at all. everything, and besides cooking. And so he's doing the washing and I'm into morning and evening. And we were fighting so much, like get up and blah, blah, blah. And then with my guides, that's so lovely to talk to your guides. They told me, come on, don't fight so much with your child. That's just not working. And then I think then I started this getting up early. I was already balanced when I wake her up. And now we have such a precious time in the morning and the evening. And I really feel like that's what I expect of me now, to have these sacred time bubbles. And they're just 1 hour. But that's really impacting her the most because it's daily, 2 times a day. And if we're not together the whole day, it doesn't matter, because the beginning and the ending is really gentle and really like I want to do it and I want to be with my child, and I'm not stressed out or angry because of something else. I turned 40 last December and it feels so great, like something is different now. I'm so aligned, so chilled, so like these mornings and evenings are so wonderful. But the expectations, I don't know. If If to what you need and take your time, they don't matter anymore. I don't know if I make my point clear.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. It's something that I think you were talking earlier about, all of those little things that we say when we've asked someone for help, and then we feel we have to take care of them by saying, oh, thank you so much. I'm so sorry. And, it's only going to be for a little while, or it's great that you're doing this. And then you come with gifts, and then it becomes a very complicated exchange instead of it being clear and clean. And if it's a no, then okay, it's a no. We'll find another way around it. And if it's a yes, then great, it's a yes. And let's keep moving. Being able to be light around the expectations with yourself, first of all, because I think a lot of the mamas listening have really high expectations of themselves. And I say this with no judgment because, as you know, I am a queen of expectations on myself and of working with my inner voice and softening and, and finding ease and joy and lightness, because the tendency is to have these expectations and then that are unrealistic to start with, and then to be really, really harsh on yourself because you think those people are thinking something. So like, I think Jane is thinking that I did this and therefore I am that. So I'm feeling bad because I think she's thinking something that I don't even know anything about.
Yeah, and that's really something I learned so many times, and now I think I get it. Don't think what other people could think that they think that it's just not working.
And you have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. And you never, you may see other people talking and maybe you think it's about something they're talking about your mothering, or something they're thinking about your mothering, or they're thinking about you as a mother or a woman, because your mothering is, as you've so rightly pointed out, a part of this whole amazing being that you are, right? That you may have lost connection to, but mothering is a part of it. And so whatever it is that you think someone else is thinking, it's impossible, A, to get that right all the time, or even most of the time, or even some of the time. And B, how much energy we lose and how much time we waste and how much joy seeps out of us because we're worried about what we think someone else is thinking. I mean, it doesn't help. It doesn't help us. And it takes us away from our integrity, doesn't it?
And if you focus on what do I think, how do I judge others? She's on her phone already, for an hour on this playground. Maybe she's managing her business or helping a friend, who is in hospital or something. Just don't judge the others and don't think of thinking that somebody could. That's just not important. And you have more important things to do. Just focus on what brings you joy, what brings your kid joy, and what's the next step which would be fun, like skipping home, when I get her at the daycare place, then we do that sometimes. And then you can already think that the other people think that you're crazy, and just
Who cares?
Who cares? And Mika is just delighted. Can we do that again? That feels so good. Like,
Yeah.
it's so easy to infuse your day with little things which bring you joy and your kids joy. And sometimes you don't want to skip, and then you just tell her or him or them, like, no, today I'm not skipping. You can skip. You can decide for yourself. That's just, I think, that's the big thing in life to find this balance. When do I say yes because I'm nice? And when I don't want to say yes, I just say no. And when is it a clear yes? And that's a ongoing game, I think, until you're 90. That's not something. So you better get
on it. So what do you think, thinking back to new Mama Ronja, what would you go back and tell new Mama you when Mika was just born? What do you wish you'd known?
That this is just now temporary, this stuckness of not being free, and if you can enjoy it a little more and just be aware that even in weeks, it's already different. I remember I was thinking that I'm already enjoying the next round because I know this now. Like, imagining me having a second child and being more easy and more relaxed and just being, and not stressing out about all these things, or just, I didn't, the women who are stressed out if somebody comes over and then it has to be a clean, perfect apartment and beautiful designed food, and these expectations I think you just have to cancel at first and just tell people, can you bring some food, please? And nourishing and nice food. Thank you. And if you want to come over, you have to clean my living room. And we were really strict. I'm so open on social media and Instagram, but when Mika was born, it was really a secret. Like, my best friend knew it, my parents and my sister, and nobody else. It wasn't allowed them to tell anybody because I didn't want to see anybody. And even my best friend, she came in and she didn't have a child then, like, wah, 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 and I was, she's too loud. Can she leave? Like, my best friend was too much for me. So protecting your space, how you want to have it, and not thinking it's okay for Aunt so-and-so to just pop in your living room when you're just crying over your breastfeeding. And no, she's just not allowed to come. Yeah. And you can just tell everybody if you want to. No, you like, make it clear, because people are so excited and they want to see the baby and hold the baby and say, no. It's my terms, really.
Yeah, no, totally. And I know that the more you do that, the more you accustom other people to how you need to be treated and the space that you need. And it's not, selfish is a word that comes up a lot. And you've been talking about, egoistic. And it isn't selfish to create boundaries and hold them clearly with love. People, my parenting coach says this to me all the time, people will think what they think and they will feel what they feel anyway. So you might as well be honest and true and stand fully in your integrity as a mother, as a woman, as a human being on this planet. Stand in your integrity, because they're going to think what they think and feel what they feel anyway. And it is not our job to take care of everyone else all the time. It is exhausting and impossible.
Yeah, and it's just your job to take care of your feelings, your wishes, your dreams, and your needs right now in every moment. And go to the toilet when you have to go to the toilet, because don't wait for another hour. Why would you? Being aware of these little things. Where can I improve my self-care? It doesn't have to be an hour yoga session in the morning. It can be 5 minutes of stretching, another glass of water, or I like frozen berries in my water, and then you can eat them as a snack instead of something like cookies, or just be playful and really imagine some wizard or angel taking care of you the whole day, and just be this taking care of yourself person.
So tell us, as we get ready to wrap up, tell us how you infuse joy into your life, because to meet you is to just feel like you have plugged yourself into some joy generator, and you just feel so, your vibrations change. You just feel so lifted up by being around you. So tell me, you've talked about skipping. How do you infuse joy into your everyday life without it being a big, massive production that you need like months to prepare, like daily? What do you do to infuse joy into your life? Even when it's hard, even when you have to be, you've got people who need you all the time and your kids are sick at home for a week. There's joy in there. How do you find it and how do you access it?
I think the first and most important thing is awareness, and then appreciation for everything we have. We live in paradise here in Switzerland. We have everything. If people are just like breaking down when public transportation is late for 5 or 10 minutes, and come on, can we be like a little bit be aware of how amazing it is here, and just breathing fresh air, the sunlight on my skin. And if the sun is shining, you just go to the window if you don't have a balcony, or just go outside for a minute. I think these little intuitive calling, like, the sun, and then just walk to the window. And it's like a game going on the whole day. And for example, it was snowing today, and I was drawing smileys and hearts on the cars, because that's just nice to have a car with a heart on it when you arrive and have to scratch the windows because they're icy. These, the random act of kindness, I think that's something which you can do for yourself and for others, like and smiling at people and having the challenge to, if somebody sits opposite of you like this, and then like the challenge of sending some good energy and then smiling, and maybe you can start a conversation, and maybe you're not into all these games today, and that's okay too. Like, just enjoy your moment. And the basic fact that your heart is beating and your lung is working, that's just a gift. I had lots of friends dying in avalanches and bike accidents, and then every funeral was really shaping me in a hard way. And when my sister's best friend, she died because of heart attack. She was 25, that's 10 years ago. And after this funeral, I really decided now I'll be just this egoistic thing. Like, when I want to do this today, even though it's against morals or whatever, if I want to do that today because tomorrow I might be dead, I just do it. I don't care anymore. The whole thinking of the thinking is just, and that freed me up to do more my way. That's my mission. I don't want to work there anymore. Like, all these decisions. If you are aware that this afternoon you could be dead, without being scared or over, security is first. And I'm really relaxed in the fact that this game is not endless, so we better enjoy it. And the whole factory in our body is working. You can stuff something in your face if it's healthy or not, but it's fully automatically processed, and you have energy to move, and it's just fantastic, and it's a miracle. And just be thankful and enjoy your day. So I know it sounds simple, but it actually is. And just try it and make it a game for yourself. And in the evening, you can say thank you for little facts happened to you today, or the gratitude practice. I think that's a good start to just be aware how good things are and focus on there. There are crappy things and things not working, but if you focus on the good things without like ignoring the bad things, it's not, I don't think you have to walk around like this all the time. No, I'm happy. That's so, that I like to cry and be angry and just let it out nearly immediately if somehow possible. And then you're not carrying around stress or some thoughts about 2 weeks ago you did this and that. Just tell it in this red hot minute, and then it's out, and then you can take care of that then, and focus on the good things mainly, and then you're good, I think.
How do you share your passion for joy with Mika and with Ken and with anyone around you? Do you do it consciously, or does it just happen?
Something I really discuss with Mika a lot is your the mood. You can choose your mood in every second of the day. Like if she's grumpy, like with me, I said, I don't like you talking with me that I didn't do anything. Like that's just not nice. I don't want that. And then we discuss this mood choosing fact, and she is mirroring me that back. If I'm angry, like, she said, Mama, you told me you can choose your mood and you're not in a good mood. And I said, yeah, thank you. That's so true. And now I just talk to you normally and I tell you this and this is not working for me. That's why I was so angry. So this dialogue, it's not, you don't have to have a glittery thing all the time and skipping and like everything is wow, but just talking to each other. I'm a really touchy person and she is too. My husband is not at all. So we like to hug, and the troll movie. Mm-hmm. What is it called in English? The hug.
Trolls. It's called Trolls.
Yeah. They have to watch like bing bing and then they have to hug.
Yeah.
All the
yeah.
So that's something she says from time to time, like it's now huggy time, or
no.
And also the fact my kid is not guaranteed, it's just my gift to have time with her today, and I'm not worried about. I'm really trusting person, and I think that's a gift I got from my parents and from life. That even though my friends were dying, like, I'm trusting that everything is working out perfectly, and if something really bad is happening, it has some reason. So I think that's another trick, to see the good thing in a bad thing, even though you can't see it already. Or if you miss a train, or this train is just canceled, it might, a really bad accident might have happened. I'm like making up these stories, and it helps me, and I don't think it's made up. It's really, it has to be like, that's destiny or the big plan or something. So enjoying the moments, because this is not guaranteed, this game of life.
For sure.
And it's not working all the time, but most of the time I'm really aware. I have a super great husband. I have a kid, and why shouldn't I be just extra nice and gentle and how I want to be with them when I can, and when she's now at school, and afterwards she's at this daycare place. I don't think about her until 6 o'clock, and then I get her. But in the meantime, I'm not missing her. I think of her like, yeah, you have a good time, I have a good time, but not more. Like, I'm here now with you. I'm enjoying that so much. So.
I love it. And I could talk to you all day, but I think a lot of stuff going on. And I wanted to ask you if anyone who is listening would love to learn a little bit more about you, or would love to explore or infuse their lives with joy through talking to you or reading some of your writing, where can we find you online?
My website's URL is ronjasakata.com. The English part, I'm now really... If you're listening to this now, I want to have an English website ready until this podcast is on air. I have an English Joy is My Compass course, 6-week course, 44 days of joy. So like with little nuggets and tools and inspirations for 44 days, that's 6 weeks. It's a little more than 44 days. So that's available in English. And I want to do more stuff in English and doing speeches and writing a book and everything. That's coming.
Cool. Yay. I was so excited to see all of that. So we will put, I say we is me and myself, we'll put your website down below where the video recording of this is, and also in the show notes for the podcast. And if anyone wants to find you on Instagram, can we find you there as well?
Yes, there. My private profile is Ronja Sakata. And yeah, that's my main. I have one choice, my compass. I have a one. And also my other topic of my heart is I am in love with Japan. That's mine too.
So good. So good. Ronja, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I wish I could just reach through the screen and give you a giant hug. I'm so grateful for you taking the time to talk to me today. And I know that everyone listening is going to love you just as much as I do. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a fantastic, fantastic day.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's it for this episode of MamaFuel, the podcast. Thanks for listening. There's a lot more conversation, sharing, and real mama talk happening in our private Facebook group. To join in, go to www.thecenteredmamaproject.com/Facebook and be sure to say hello when you get there. Can't wait to see you. If you like this episode, or if you know a mama who could use a little mama fuel, I'd love you to share this episode and to rate and leave a review. Every comment helps, and it's always a delight to hear from you. Thanks, and bye for now.